It's about 5 in the morning, and I'm making a video about leadership resilience. Yeah, I haven't quite figured this out yet. Hey, what's up, all you cool cats and kittens? Nah. Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what it is? You just saw the little corny intro. See the corny face, so you know who I am. But my goal here is to get 1% better every day. And this particular video is about leadership resilience. So I have been an educator for about 17 years. It's hard work. Everybody knows it's hard work. What I've gotten to observe across those years are a few patterns in people that do it well and sort of last the longest. They approach their work as more of a marathon than a sprint, and in general just do some things to take care of themselves, to make sure that they are present for the people that they're serving. But leadership resilience in this context is about how to last in high stress environments. Luckily, I've gotten to listen to some people, I've gotten to read a few books, and once again, there are some patterns. I'm going to give them to you. Nothing that I'm going to say is new, but maybe in this particular version, it'll be something that sinks in for you. So the number one tenet about leadership resilience is making sure that you are the best version of yourself. I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do to make sure the best version of yourself shows up every day. The first one is learning, but we're just going to simplify that to reading. We all seen the Instagram clips about how many books CEOs read. We all have heard about being lifelong learners. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's inevitable. You have to keep learning. You have to keep sharpening your sword. You can never become complacent with what you know and how to improve in your craft. So everybody knows this first hack, and it's audiobooks. I, for one, am not a person who enjoys reading fiction in particular, but I love to read to figure stuff out or to learn something else. The hard part that I experience, just like everybody else, is where do you find the time to flip through these pages and to learn this good stuff? That's where audiobooks come in. But I got another secret. Instead of reading your audiobook at the regular speed, listen to it at 1.25 speed. It's just fast enough to where you progress through your book at a faster rate, but it also doesn't sound like Chipmunk Soul. I'm telling you guys, by the time I get done with my morning commute and I get out of my car, it's like, I know Kung Fu. Another important piece about getting through any book, whether it's an audio book or your traditional hardcover book, is to synthesize your learning afterward. Tons of studies talk about how quickly we forget things that we learn as soon as we put down that book or as soon as we leave that workshop. Take just a little bit of time to synthesize what you learn, even if it's something as simple as like a 3-2-1 synthesizer, where you write down 3 key takeaways, 2 questions that you may have that you can reach out to the author about, and 1 thing that you would share with somebody else that you really enjoy. It's also smart to write down action steps, whether they're things that you do at the end of every chapter or at the end of the book, just to make sure that all that you learned actually is something that you can go out and do. Got it? Great. Next quick hack about how to maintain as a leader or anything else is diet. I know. You've heard it before. You're gonna hear it a million times more. Diet is super important to making sure your best self shows up every day. Clean eating is a cheat code. You get to eat this way, right? It's a privilege. I think it's important to avoid diets and things that are overly restrictive, but instead look at slight modifications you can make to your lifestyle. Ideally, we want to cut back on sugar. We want to cut back on processed foods. We want to actually stay away from alcohol. Relax, moderation, right? Moderation. But when you think about what's actually going to help to strengthen your immune system, what's going to give you real energy, and ultimately what's going to give you a clear head So as you go into these high stress situations, and you're not sorting through foggy thoughts or fuzzy logic. So choose a lifestyle shift that is easier to manage instead of any overly restrictive diet that's going to crash after the first week or so. Last thing I'm going to hit on, you can probably guess what it is, but here it comes anyway: exercise. You gotta move. You ever notice that a common trait among CEOs, other than reading a gajillion books, like they're always training for something, whether it's a marathon, Ironman, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they always seem to be training for something, and they're using their bodies to do it. The leadership resilience thing here is these successful people are using their minds to train their bodies. Essentially what they're doing is exercising self-discipline over and over and over again. That's just something that helps keep your mind sharp. I hate working out, but what I've done is find other ways just to stay active and keep moving, whether that's with a stationary bike at home, whether that's with home workouts, running around with your kids, even wearing one of those smart watches that tracks your steps and just making it a goal to get X amount of steps every day or walk X amount of miles every day. Adding little habits into your day. I made it a habit of going up and down all sets of stairs in my work building after lunch, just to make sure I hit my movement goal at the end of the day. And after a while, I found that I didn't feel as much pressure to have to go to the gym because I got my movement in. I set goals and I made sure I could accomplish those things throughout the day, where I didn't have to feel like I had to do something I didn't want to do. Training your body is an exercise in self-discipline for your mind. It's great stress relief, and it promotes a sense of accomplishment and ultimately self-confidence. So get busy working out. And a key benefit of both of these last two things is better sleep. And that is the ultimate leadership resilience hack. So that's it for this one. Slight tweaks, changes, nothing new, but still useful. Now go out there and get 1% better. I'm cheering for you.